Hello everyone. My name is 张小静. I'm from RDFZ 西山 School. Welcome to my class. We are going to have final term review together. It includes vocabulary, grammar, and reading skills. 各位同学，大家好，欢迎来到国家中小学课程资源。我是来自人大附中西山学校的张小静老师。我们将一起进行人教版英语7年级上册的期末复习。它包含词汇、语法以及阅读理解能力的提升3课时的内容。本节课我们将进行期末词汇部分的复习，情境中的词汇运用。By the end of this period, you will be able to: Number 1, memorize the key vocabulary in Units 5 to 9. Number 2, apply the words in contexts. Number 3, manage time more effectively. 本讲中，我们将回顾并在情境中使用相关话题词汇，同时学会更加有效地规划时间。This term is coming to the end. You must have learned a lot. So does Li Hua. Now, let's see his daily schedule and find out what he achieves and how he achieves a lot. Li Hua has a very good habit, keeping a time record. It can help him to manage his time more effectively. Let's have a quick look at his daily schedule first. In the morning, he gets up, has breakfast, and goes to school. At noon, he has lunch and takes a rest. In the afternoon, he has lessons and plays basketball with his friends. In the evening, he watches news, does homework, and reads books. He can make full use of his time, so he really achieves a lot every day. Let's see what he achieves. First of all, he gains a lot of knowledge. There are many subjects at school. This is his class schedule. Let's find out what subjects he learns. He learns Chinese, Math, English, PE, History, Music, Biology, Science, Politics, and Computer. How does he like these subjects? First, he likes reading novels and writing articles, so he is good at. It seems that novels and articles are related to Chinese. So, the answer should be Chinese. Then, he can work out many difficult problems with numbers because he does well in. Let's think about which subject is closely related to numbers. Yes, the answer should be math. Next, he learns a lot about foreign culture and history because he is really interested in. Here is a word foreign. It shows that it is about a language used as a tool to learn things from other countries. Yes, it is English. Next, he knows many names of the places in the world because he enjoys studying. Here, places in the world shows the answer. Yes, the answer is geography. Well, among all these subjects, he is good at Chinese. He does well in math. He is interested in English. He enjoys studying geography. Is good at, does well in, is interested in, enjoys studying, shows that Li Hua can study them well. In other words, these subjects are easy for him to learn. In his opinion, these subjects are interesting and useful. So, he finds it easy to learn them well. Interest is the most important factor. However, he is trying to catch up with others by reading more books about animals and plants. Because he has trouble in learning. According to animals and plants, we can easily find the answer. Yes, it should be biology. He watches some documentaries about the development of the world because he is not so good at. The development of the world gives us the information about the subject. Yes, the answer should be history. Well, among all these subjects, he has trouble in learning biology. He is not so good at history. Has trouble in learning, not so good at, shows that these subjects are difficult for him to learn. It's a big challenge for him to face. But he doesn't give up. He tries his best to find better ways to learn them well by reading some books and watching some documentaries. After all, if you want to make progress, you can always find the ways to make it. By learning different subjects, Li Hua gains a lot of knowledge. Besides knowledge, he also builds a strong body. How can he build a strong body? One of the most important factors is that he has healthy eating habits. In his time record, we can see his weekly menu. His menu is full of healthy food. For example, for breakfast, he has eggs, bread, milk, and apples. For lunch, he has rice, noodles, chicken, pork, and bananas. For dinner, he has porridge, carrots, fish, and oranges. This weekly menu can help him keep a balanced diet. It is always important to choose enjoyable and nutritious foods. Let's see what can be the best choices. 李华 thinks a balanced diet is a key to stay healthy. According to this healthy eating food pyramid, he makes his weekly menu to keep him healthy. First, he eats enough greens. Greens include bread, rice, pasta, noodles, and steamed bread. Our body needs greens the most. He also eats lots of vegetables. He tries to eat different kinds of vegetables. There are beans, carrots, onions, potatoes, peas, tomatoes, broccoli, and cucumber. Our body needs lots of vegetables. He enjoys eating lots of fruits. There are apples, peaches, bananas, lemons, mangoes, grapes, pears, pineapples, and strawberries. He also takes in much protein. Protein is rich in pork, chicken, lamb, beef, fish, eggs, milk, yogurt, and cheese. Look, here is his plate. What can you find from his plate? We find that his meals are mainly made up of vegetables, grains, fruits, proteins. They are all healthy food, so he keeps a healthy diet. For each meal, he eats proper vegetables, fruits, and grains. And he also takes in enough protein. In this way, he builds a strong body. Besides healthy eating habits, he also does sports properly to help build a strong body. In his time record, he plans his sports regularly every day. He does different kinds of sports, like running, playing ball games, swimming, and climbing mountains. He keeps doing different kinds of sports every day. He does sports properly, so he builds a strong body. This is another factor that helps him build a strong body. He gains knowledge and builds a strong body. Now, let's talk about his third achievement. He develops a sense of responsibility through taking an active part in colorful school activities. In his time record, he writes down the activities and takes an active part in them. There are books sale, sports day, music and art festival, science festival, school day, and English day. He shows his interest, talent, and hard work. For example, he is good at English, and he is the director of an English play to compete on English Day. As a director, he needs to do a lot to help his team perform well. He thinks it's his responsibility to help build a perfect team. So he tries his best to help his teammates as much as possible. For example, he needs to help his teammates to remember the words. He also needs to help his teammates to practice performing. As a director, he needs to help his teammates to prepare the costumes. To help prepare the costumes, he works with his teammates and makes a list first. Girls need sweater, skirts, dresses, and shirts. Boys need trousers, shorts, shirts, and t-shirts. Both boys and girls need to wear the same socks and shoes. However, he finds it difficult to buy the costumes, so he asks his mother for help. His mother tells him to buy them from online stores because they are always on sale and they can get them at very good prices. It can also save much time. Finally, he gets the most suitable costumes for their play. Their performance is very successful. He develops a sense of responsibility as well. Let's make a summary. It turns out that Li Hua really achieves a lot. First, he gains lots of knowledge by learning different subjects. Second, he builds a strong body by having healthy eating habits and doing sports every day. Third, he develops a sense of responsibility by directing their English play. Finally, let's have homework. Please review all the words about subjects, food, sports, and activities. Second, please make a time record to plan your study and other activities. Now, let's have a reflection. Li Hua likes to make a time record for all of his activities so that he can manage his time reasonably. Okay, that's all for this class. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Zhang Xiaojing. I'm from RDFZ Xishan School. Welcome back. In our class, we are going to improve our reading skills. 同学们好，我们又见面了。我是来自人大附中西山学校的张小静老师。本讲我们将一起进行期末复习指导的第3课时，阅读理解能力的提升。At the end of this period, you will be able to identify the type of a passage, analyze the structure of narrative and expository texts, apply the reading skills in practice. 本节课我们将能够识别不同的阅读篇章文体，分析记叙文和说明文的篇章结构，并能运用所学的阅读技能。Have you remembered what we write from our textbook? Let's have a review together. We write survey results in our school magazine. It tells students' favorite ball games. We also write a magazine article. It tells us how well the sports star eats. It's an interview about healthy eating habits. We learn to eat healthily. Have you remembered this ad about a clothes store? It shows us many attractive clothes at very good prices. We learn about the colorful school activities during the busy term from the school notice. In fact, most of the passages are mainly about people's stories and experiences, or scientific researches and new findings. Now, let's find out the types of the passages. There are 3 main types of passages. First, a narrative text is to tell a story and it is more emotional. Second, an expository text is to give information and it is more academic. Third, an argumentative text is to argue for an opinion and it is more argumentative. 同学们可以结合咱们语文学科有关文体的相关的学习经历，我们不难理解，记叙文主要是记人、叙事、讲故事、表达情感。说明文则是客观地传递信息，具有解释说明的特点。议论文是通过摆事实、讲道理、论证并说服读者接受作者的观点。Then, let's do some reading to understand the types of the passages. Please read the beginning part of the passage and find some clues to tell the type of this passage. Is it a narrative text, an expository text, or an argumentative text? Justin was really good at basketball, and he was the best at school. He dreamed to be a basketball player. However, one day, when some boys played with Justin, he was pushed flying, fell on the ground, and broke his leg. The doctor said Justin might never play again. Justin was so sad. At the very beginning, it shows that this passage is about Justin. From the keywords good, best, and dream to be a basketball player, we get to know that he is quite confident in the ability of becoming a basketball player. Then, something happened unexpectedly. From the words played pushed flying, fell on the ground, broke his leg, and might never play again, we can infer that Justin was in trouble playing basketball. At the end of this paragraph, it shows his feeling. He was so sad, which shows his first turning point, that is, from being confident to sad. We can easily find that this passage is a narrative text because it tells a story with developing plots and changing emotions. Then, what happened next? Let's go on reading the second paragraph. While we are reading, please highlight the words describing Justin's behaviors. The first 6 weeks, Justin just lay in bed watching TV every day and ate potato chips. And soon he put on too much weight. His grades had really fallen since he broke his leg. His once bright future disappeared. Now, let's focus on Justin's behaviors. Lay in bed, watching TV, ate potato chips, which caused the bad results, put on too much weight, and grades had fallen. Finally, his once bright future disappeared. Let's think about this question. From this paragraph, we can infer that A. Justin faced his trouble bravely. B. Justin lost himself in his trouble. According to the last sentence, his once bright future disappeared. We can infer that he felt hopeless and lost himself in his trouble. While reading the story, we may have some questions in our mind, like, can he accept the reality? Is there anything that can change him? Let's go on reading the third paragraph. When he lost himself in great hopelessness, Justin's sister Kiki came home from the university. She was like sunshine, telling stories of college. Justin was attracted by the stories. Please think about the blank. What kind of stories did his sister tell him? Boring stories or exciting stories? Let's find the answer according to the clues. First, he felt hopeless, which means he was not interested in anything. Then, his sister came back. She was like sunshine, which means she can bring people brightness, happiness, and hope. So, the stories she told can attract Justin from his hopelessness. Yes, the answer should be exciting stories. Along with the applause, the emotion also changes from being hopeless to getting excited. So far, we are expecting what's going to happen next. Then, let's go on reading. He found there was still a lot to do, and they looked as wonderful as his basketball. Basketball used to be all his life, but now there was only schoolwork. So he had to get good at it. He didn't want to give up. He decided to make a change. What's this paragraph mainly about? He found a lot to do, as wonderful as basketball. He had to get good at schoolwork. Most importantly, he didn't want to give up. All of these are supporting details. So, this paragraph is mainly about he decided to make a change. this is another turning point. Then, how did he change? Let's go on reading. During those following weeks, he asked his sister for help and worked hard at his study. Finally, he was accepted by his favorite university. He failed again. This paragraph is mainly about how Justin made a change. On the one hand, he got help from his sister. On the other hand, he worked hard himself. As a result, he went to his favorite university. He felt confident again. What did Justin learn from this experience? From this experience, Justin learned that nothing will change unless you change. So, never give up and make a change. Nothing will change unless you change. That means if you don't change, nothing will change. So, we should never give up and make a change. At the end of this passage, it gives us a lesson to encourage us to face the trouble bravely. Never give up and try to make a change. Then, things can make a difference accordingly. Now, let's make a summary. While reading this passage, we follow two lines, emotion line and story line. They develop along with the plot of the story. At the beginning, Justin was good at basketball and dreamed to be a basketball player. He felt confident. Then, he broke his leg. He was sad. Facing the trouble, he lay in bed watching TV and ate junk food, which made him put on too much weight, and his grades fall down sharply. He felt hopeless. When he was attracted by his sister's exciting stories, he felt better. He decided to make a change. He studied hard and was finally accepted by his favorite university. He felt confident again. In conclusion, when we read a narrative passage, we should follow the development of these two lines. Storyline shows beginning, developing, and ending of this passage. And we need to focus on the verbs. Emotion line shows the up and down of the hero's feelings, and we need to focus on the adjectives. Now, let's read another passage. Please look at the picture and predict what this passage is mainly about and what type of the passage is. You may have got answers in your mind. Let's read the first paragraph to see if your answers are right or not. Eating fish may be doing some good to teenagers' brains, a new study suggests. Now, check your answer, please. From a new study suggests, we can tell this passage is an expository test. Please summarize the main idea of the first paragraph. What is it mainly about? Let's find out the key words. Eating fish, good. Teenagers. It tells us a new finding. Eating fish is good for teenagers' brains. The new finding is eating more fish may be good for teenagers' brains. Then we are expecting to know how researchers carried out this new study. Then let's read the second paragraph. Swedish researchers surveyed nearly 5,000 teenagers on food and lifestyle when they were 15 years old. When they were 18, they had an intelligence test. They found that those who eat fish more than once a week can score higher. The finding shows that fish may indeed be brain food. After reading about the research, what lives in your mind? Let's find out the keywords that can help us understand the research. First, researchers carried out the research through 2 steps. Step 1 is to survey the teenagers on their food and lifestyle when they were 15. And then step 2 is to test their intelligence when they were 18. They found the more fish they eat, the higher their scores are. Finally, the research finding shows fish may indeed be brain food. Okay, now we have known how the research was carried out and also got the finding result. Then we may want to know why they do the research and if it is useful in our life or not. Let's go on reading. This finding is important at the height of the team site. Researchers believe that fish is important to early brain development and brain function in life. This paragraph is mainly about why this finding is important. It is important to early brain development and brain function in life. In this way, we can understand the reasons why this finding is important. Then, the structure of this paragraph is very clear. Main idea is put at the beginning and then followed by 2 supporting details. One is early brain development. The other one is brain function in life. So far, we know its importance. Then, what can we do? Let's go on reading. It's too soon to make specific diet suggestions for teenagers, according to Alba. But for the time being, she said, it happens that a diet with fish can make a valuable contribution to the intelligence of teenagers. But used as a turning, we should focus on the information after it, because it shows the attitude of the researcher. A diet with fish can make a valuable contribution to the intelligence of teenagers. From this, we can infer that eating fish is really good for the intelligence of teenagers. We can also regard it as a suggestion from the writer. Teenagers had better eat more fish. So, the answer should be A. Teenagers had better eat more fish. Now, look at the fish again. There is a new finding about eating fish. The more fish teenagers eat, the higher their intelligence scores are. So teenagers are advised to eat more fish, the brain food. Then let's summarize the structure of this passage. First, it shows the new finding to arouse the interest of readers. Then, it describes the process of the research and shows the result. After that, it explains the reasons why this finding is important and worth sharing with readers. Finally, it gives suggestions to readers for further development. That's the structure of an expository test. Let's look at the summary. This class, we learn to identify the types of the passages and analyze the structure of the passages. Finally, here is the homework for you. Please analyze the structure of the passage on the working sheet. That's all for this class. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Zhang Xiaojing. I'm from RDFZ Xishan School. Welcome back. We are going to review the grammar we've learned during the second half term. 各位同学，大家好，我们又见面了。我是来自人大附中西山学校的张小静老师。本讲我们将一起进行期末复习指导的第2课时，情境中的语法运用。Please have a look at the learning objectives. By the end of this period, you will be able to, number 1, apply yes/no questions and WH questions of the simple present tense in contexts. Number 2, describe food with quantity words. 本节课我们将一起复习一般现在时的一般疑问句和特殊疑问句在情境中的使用，以及有关食物数量的表达。Some students complain that their mother cannot understand them. In order to help them get to know their mother well, the head teacher plans to have a class meeting and asks Li Hua to help her make a questionnaire. 同学们有时候会抱怨妈妈不够理解他们，班级将就此开展一次班会。李华制作一个问卷来帮助同学们了解并理解妈妈。Being healthy is quite important, so he designs yes-no questions in the first part to help them know if their mother has breakfast at home or if she has free time to do sports. Then he plans to ask the following questions. 你妈妈在家吃早饭吗？你妈妈有空余时间做运动吗？ You may find these two questions are asking 做什么什么吗？ The short answers to these questions are usually yes or no, so they are called yes-no questions. In Chinese, 一般疑问句。Please look at the structure. It is used to make yes-no questions. Do or does plus the subject, and then the main verb, and then the other parts. Do is used in front of the first person, I and we, the second person, you, and the third plural person, they. And does is used in front of the third singular person, he, she, and it. Now please read the sample with do. Do I, do we, do you, do they have breakfast at home? The main verb have is the original form. Please read the sample with does. Does he, does she, does it like milk for breakfast? The main verb like is the original verb. Let's follow the structure to make a sentence. Step 1. Find out the subject and verb. The subject is your mother and the verb is eat. Step 2. Your mother is the third singular person, so does should be used here. Step 3. Please make sure the main verb have should be the original form. And then, finally, don't forget the question mark. Please pay attention to the short answers to the questions, especially the pronoun. For example, your father should be replaced by he. Your mother should be replaced by she. Another point is that yes shows positive meaning and should be matched with do and does. And no shows negative meaning, should be matched with don't and doesn't. Li Hua has finished the first part of the questionnaire. To ask if your mother has breakfast at home or not. Does your mother have breakfast at home? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Then ask if your mother has free time to do sports or not. Does your mother have free time to do sports? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Then, the first part of the questionnaire has been finished using yes, no questions. For part 2, we use 5W1H questions to ask more detailed information about their mother. To know more about their mother's daily life, we use when to ask the time of getting up. Use what to know the things she does. Use who to know the person she takes care of. Use why to know the reason why she stays up late. Use where to know the place she buys food from. And use how to know her feelings. These questions begin with WH question words: who, what, when, where, why, and how. So they are called WH questions and used to ask more detailed information. The structure is quite easy. We just put the question words in front of yes/no questions. Then the second part of the questionnaire is finished. First, to know the time of getting up. Step 1. Make sure the question word is when. Step 2. Make sure the subject is your mother. Step 3. Your mother is the third singular person, so does should be used here. Step 4. The main verb, get up, should be the original form. Step 5. Put the words in the correct order. The question word, when, and the yes/no questions. So the sentence should be, when does your mother get up in the morning? Let's see the questions in part 2. When does your mother get up and go to bed? What does your mother do in the morning? Who does your mother take good care of every day? Where does your mother buy fruit and vegetables? Why does your mother stay up late? How does your mother feel these days? Li Hua finishes making the questionnaire. All the students completed. Of all the students, Peter is willing to share the result in the class meeting. Look at the questions and answer. When does your mother get up and go to bed? She gets up at 5:30 and goes to bed at 11:30. Now, please look at 5:30 and at 11:30. For when questions, the answer should be prepositions plus time. Also, please focus on the third singular form of the verb, gets up, goes to bed. Now, let's look at the second question. What does your mother do in the morning? She cooks breakfast. For what questions, our answers are usually actions or something. Also, please focus on the third singular form of the verb, cooks. Now, look at the third question. Who does your mother take good care of? She takes good care of my grandparents. My grandparents. For who questions, our answers are usually person or people. Question 4. Where does your mother buy fruit and vegetables? She buys fruit and vegetables in the supermarket. For where questions, our answers should be prepositions plus the name of the places. Question number 5. Why does your mother stay up late? Because she has a lot of housework to do. Okay. When we ask why questions, now our answers should be because plus the reasons. Because she has a lot of housework to do. Then, next question. How does your mother feel these days? She feels a little tired, but she is happy. Okay. Peter's mother is really busy every day. Early in the morning, she gets up at 5:30 and cooks breakfast. She needs to take good care of his grandparents because they are too old to look after themselves. After work, she goes to the supermarket to buy some fruit and vegetables for dinner. As soon as she gets home, she cooks dinner immediately. After dinner, she has a lot of housework to do, like doing the dishes, washing the clothes, and cleaning the house. She usually goes to bed at 11:30. Sometimes she feels tired, but she enjoys doing everything for her family. Peter gets to know about his mother's daily life. He understands her and wants to help her with some housework. For example, he helps his mother buy some food in the supermarket this weekend. Now let's look at the shopping list. He makes a shopping list including different kinds of food and the quantity. The foods are bread, milk, rice, eggs, apples, and carrots. Let's see how much or how many he needs to buy. He needs to buy a loaf of bread, a bottle of milk, 2 bags of rice. He also needs to buy 10 eggs, 6 apples, and 5 carrots. When we find, we use different kinds of expressions to describe the quantity of the food. The difference is that some of them are countable, but some of them are not countable. So, some nouns are countable nouns. We can count them. But some nouns are uncountable nouns. We can't count them. A countable noun has a singular and a plural form. We can use a number with a countable noun. For example, 1 sandwich has jelly. 2 sandwiches have cheese. Sandwich is a countable noun. We can use number 1 or 2. An uncountable noun has no plural form. We don't use a number with an uncountable noun. For example, you need bread for a sandwich. My mother drinks coffee every day. Bread and coffee are uncountable nouns. We cannot use numbers in front of bread or coffee. Here we got some common uncountable nouns here. Now let's look at the list. Some nouns are about liquids. For example, water, tea, coffee, soup, and juice. Some nouns are about dairy, milk, cheese, ice cream, butter, yogurt. And some nouns are about meat, beef, chicken, and pork. We also have other uncountable nouns. For example, salt, sugar, rice, candy, pasta, corn, and fat. Okay, let's see how to describe the quantity of the following uncountable nouns. We often use a unit of measurement. For example, 一瓶水, 一杯牛奶, 一片面包, 一罐果酱, 一碗汤, 一条面包. So, how can we express it in English? A bottle of water, a glass of milk, a piece of bread, a jar of jam, a bowl of soup, a loaf of bread. Now, let's summarize together. We review yes-no questions, WH questions, and answers in context. Then, we summarize some descriptions about the quantity of uncountable nouns of food. Okay, it's time for homework now. Design interview questions. Li Hua makes great progress this term. As the reporter of the school magazine, you are going to interview him and write an article about him. Now, you need to design some questions about his study and life. Let's have a reflection. Li Hua makes a questionnaire to help his classmates understand their mother by asking some questions about her daily life and try to help her. Okay, that's all for this class. Thank you.